exhausted from not being the person that I know I am capable of being. Hi everybody, my name is Nikki and welcome to my channel. So today I have a story time for you. I don't normally do story time, but I feel like this one is necessary for me today. So first of all, I want to start by saying I'm in an unhealthy relationship, and I'm trying to figure out why I stay. So I was talking to my friend the other day, and she told me that she feels as though I am codependent, and that's part of the reason why I am in the situation that I'm in. I don't believe that I'm codependent. Even the word dependency gives me anxiety. I don't feel like I'm dependent on anybody. I'm very, I guess, prideful about being self-reliant and being independent and being autonomous and being able to be on my own, right, and self-sufficient. However, she was telling me to dig deeper and past the word dependent. It's not about being dependent necessarily. So I am reading to you from positivepsychology.com, and it says this: the concept of codependency does still apply to families with substance abuse issues, but it is used also to refer to other situations too. The main consequence of codependency is that codependents are busy taking care of others, forget to take care of themselves, resulting in a disturbance of identity development. Now, let me continue. Sir Mark, 1986, argued that codependency should be defined in the next edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, borrowing diagnostic criteria from alcohol dependence, dependent personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, and even post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay. Now, I will say that I believe I have post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't want to necessarily admit that it is because of me being in an unhealthy relationship. Now, I think what happened was I was in an unhealthy relationship before, but I still don't think that constitutes me being codependent. So time for the story time, right? So last night I was trying to really figure out why I make the decisions that I make. If I know seeing a certain person is unhealthy for me, why do I continue to do it? And I believe that it is triggered because of a past relationship. So I was engaged about 10 years ago to a man that was very sweet, but he was also had a tendency to be very abusive. The situation was not completely abusive. He had great qualities too. So what ended up happening though is that he died, and for a long time I felt guilty about the death because I felt like I didn't do enough to help save him or to help make him better. Like I didn't take him to the doctor soon enough. I feel like I didn't do enough, or I contributed more to the problem than the solution, and ultimately I feel like he died. And he died within like a 2-week span, which was very traumatic for me because not even 2 weeks, it was like a week and a half. But not only did he die, but I watched him die. Like I watched him lose the ability to speak. I watched him lose the ability to walk. I watched all of that. And I don't know if he had a stroke or what, but this was 10 years ago. I was in my Well, 30? No, it wasn't. I was in my late 20s. So, wow. Wow. So I guess it wasn't really 10 years ago, but no, it wasn't 10 years ago, but it was close enough. So that, so the fact that I lost him was traumatic. The fact that I feel like I was responsible for him not getting better was doubly traumatic. He was also like my first boyfriend. So I didn't really like relationships, and I still don't, to be honest with you, which is why I say I'm not codependent, because I don't even like relationships. Like, why would I be codependent when I don't even like relationships? So what I realized last night is this: I have to forgive myself and let him go. So his name is George, and I said, I forgive myself for what happened, and I let him go. And I had both hands on my chest, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm breathing, trying to find forgiveness from myself, for myself. Because I feel like the things that I look for now in a relationship are the things that he did for me then. And if I can understand that he's no longer here, and that it is not my fault, then I won't continue to look for those things today. So I go to sleep like that, and I'm breathing, and I'm inhaling and exhaling, really focusing on my breath and where my hands are, and trying to give myself love and forgiveness and healing. And then I fall asleep. When I fall asleep, I have nightmares, nightmare upon nightmare. One nightmare I had, and I had nightmares too when he died. I had nightmares for about a month. So last night I had multiple nightmares. One nightmare I remember, or one dream I remember, I was at home. I was at the home where I grew up in. My mom and my dad lived there too, but they weren't there at the time. And this man that came over, and we all knew him. It was like he was a family friend. And he raped me, and he had a gun. He held a gun to me. And he left. And he threatened me if I told anybody, like he threatened me like something was going to happen to me or to my family. But this was a person that we all trusted, so I didn't want to say anything. But he ended up somehow getting a key to where we lived, and I'm at home, and my mom and my dad are home, and he lets himself in, and he's talking to my parents like everything is okay. And I'm freaked out. Like, how did he get a key? How did he get a key? Right? And so then I realized I need to tell somebody, and I really don't want to tell. So I tell my mom, who, of course, is easier for me to tell. And she's understanding, and she's kind, and she's calm about it. But then I go to try to tell my dad, and I'm shaking, and I cannot get the words out of my mouth. Like, I cannot, I know I need to for my survival, because I felt like if I didn't, this man was going to let himself in one day and he was going to kill me. So I had to tell my dad that, you know, the person that you trust, that you know, raped me. And in my dream, I'm struggling to get these words out of my mouth, but finally I say it and I get it out. And I'm so proud of myself. And I wake up and I realize that that same fear I have to speak, to tell the truth, to tell my truth, even though it might hurt somebody that I care about, keeping people's secrets is not okay anymore for me. And for years, that fear kept me from speaking things that really needed to be released. And I was thinking about the fact that my uncle for a long time was abusive to me. And I just recently ended that relationship. And in my dream, it was somebody that we trusted and we loved. So, and I'm thinking that that's what my dream was about. And I needed to speak about it, and I needed to let it go. Because even though I was engaged to this man who I loved very much, he was hurtful at times. The situation that I'm in now is hurtful at times. The situation with my uncle was hurtful. And in my dream, I realized I needed to speak and I needed to let it go. Because it is not fair to me to keep people's secrets and me continue to relive the rest of my life petrified. So that's part one. I'm sure there's more I want to say, and I can't find the words right now to say it. But I really feel like that is what my dream was about. And as I'm on this journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment and release, I'm sure there's other things that I will say too. Thank you for listening.